Hi, my name is Matt, or XcentricTV, and today I'm going to be walking you through things you should know before you play the cycle. I'm a content creator over at twitch.tv/XcentricTV. If you wanted to find me live, you can find all my info in the description. I have a large background in FPS, PvP, and PvE games like Counter-Strike, Escape from Tarkov, and Destiny, so I feel quite qualified to give you a general overview of what you're getting yourself into. So what are you getting yourself into? Cycle is a free-to-play competitive quest shooter with both PvP and PvE elements. You are a scavenger dropped along with a bunch of other players onto an inhospitable planet to gather its natural resources, complete bounties, and extract from the planet before the other competitors, all the while fending off the natural inhabitants of the planet. This game is, in my opinion, aimed at people coming from games like Destiny, and on the opposite side also from Fortnite. A lot of comparisons can be made between both games. The art style, for one, feeling almost plucked from Fortnite assets and altered slightly. The game does offer different methods to play, however. The PvE and PvP routes, with any combination of the two, also are viable. A rush for resources, avoiding enemy players, and stealing resource generators from other players without interaction is a viable way to play the game. Or, for all you chads out there, seeking out, killing, and taking your spoils of war to win the game, and a more BR style of playing is also very applicable. Now, let's discuss the more individual traits of the game. For example, the pact function. This is the first time I've seen something like this in any game, so props to the devs for trying something new. The pact function, in my opinion, has pros and cons. As the name implies, it allows two random players in solo mode to join forces at any point as long as both parties agree. I was pleasantly surprised to see how many people actually use this function, although not so pleasantly surprised to realize its cons very quickly. Without very efficient communications, most pact parties separate and spread out to gather more resources, which wouldn't be an issue except for the inbuilt cost of pacting, which removes your armor as long as you are part of that said pact. In an ideal world, the pact function allows you to 2v1 in a solo mode, which sounds very advantageous, but rarely works out that way, and more often than not ends up with both players being minced by a solo player with armor. This could be remedied with maybe a health or armor changes, but that's yet to be seen. The weapons in this game I found really satisfying to shoot. There's a good balance in the recoil patterns of all projectile-based guns, and the hitscan weapons are appropriately tweaked recoil-wise to compensate for their damage output. In my time playing the game, most guns seemed fine, but some quick tips about certain weapons. The 200 Mark submachine gun is not what you want for PvP. The heavy vertical recoil, while somewhat controllable on PC, has been, in my experience, always outgunned by the 500 Mark AR. So my quick tip is, if you're concentrating on PvE, grab that sub, rake in the cash, or if you want to chat up and take on other players, grabbing that AR and maybe the portable shield will allow you to mince armor and players much more efficiently. The faction mechanic of the game seems to be the same as most other games. 3 factions to choose from, each giving you different unlocks and rewards as you level them up. Not much else to say here except that you're not locked into one specific faction, and you can either grind one to max level and then change before every game in the pre-lobby and work it that way. Now for some personal opinions on the game and possible improvements. The resource train is a great addition to the game in my opinion, as it creates hubs of PvP throughout the match to gather map attention and gives the game a good sense of suspense and adrenaline, as other players will be notified when you have claimed this resource gathering train. Slightly more players per map I think would benefit the gameplay, as there are large dead zone moments, much like what we saw in PUBG and its mid-game problem. This would be easily remedied with maybe 2 to 5 more players per match. Movement in the cycle is quite up to par with most other BR and PVPVE games as of late, but at the moment I have found instances of dodgy collision between player character models and terrain objects. These things aren't massive, but when they do happen, it does take away from the enjoyability of the game. I did run into a keybind glitch where pressing the buy store key in game will open the drop currency menu instead. I didn't see any way I was doing it wrong, and my solution was simply to change the keybind, and that fixed the issue. Not a massive bug, but a bug nonetheless. If you guys have any other solutions for that issue, then let me know in the comments below. All in all, I think the game is in a decent state functionally at the moment, but I think with a few more iterations on its movement, gunplay, and overall player numbers, this game could be a top 10 Twitch game in a couple of months. Finally, this game is free. You don't have to just take my opinion and run with it. You can play this game yourself today with your buds and come back and rage about how wrong I was in the comments if that's how you feel. Please don't turn sensitive. If you enjoyed this kind of content, or I helped you out in any way, maybe drop a sub or a like on the video to let me know I'm doing this stuff correctly. If you're interested in seeing me live, check out my socials, they'll all be linked down below. Most importantly, go play.